Today we are moving on to chapter 6, Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Knowledge and scientific knowledge. Science and religiosity oscillate in terms of their popularity over time. One seemed to be more dominant in some eras, and then it shifts to something else. Usually it is because people get tired of authoritarianism and dogma. 16th and 17th centuries, this age of enlightenment, they call it, enlightenment being scientific advances, not the way the Hinduism would consider, Buddhism would consider enlightenment. So during the age of enlightenment, Renaissance, and then the Industrial Revolution and all those things put science way ahead of religiosity and started questioning the dogma and the authoritarianism of the religious leaders, especially in the West. But there is also times, for instance, maybe we are living currently in a time where there are people who started questioning about the authoritarianism and the dogma of scientists. Those who are doing so are not necessarily belong to a religious denomination. This is again in the West. In Hinduism, in my opinion, they have lived harmoniously throughout the history. I don't know of any scientist, famous scientist from India, who would completely discredit religion or vice versa. In fact, most of the early advances in science, in the Vedic sciences and other advancements that came later, were all contributed by people who are also religious leaders. In other words, one community sort of took over that aspect of it. But one thing is for sure, in every religion, there is this emphasis on knowledge, all sorts of knowledge, including scientific knowledge. Ask. There is a difference between how and why. How is the focus of science. Why is the focus of religion. That's the way in which I reconcile the differences. Both are very important. Religion says, Hinduism says, acquire knowledge and scientific knowledge, as Gita is suggesting in this chapter. So, that is perhaps the premise for this chapter. Krishna is telling Arjuna at the beginning of the chapter in verses 1 and 2 Arjuna, my friend, Krishna says, he is now considering him a friend, or treating him as friend. I know you do believe that there is something beyond what we can comprehend. Because you have that belief, now I'm going to explain to you what that power that is beyond our comprehension is or could be. And I'm going to do that scientifically. Once you have heard that, no other philosophy is needed. It's about, Krishna has always been dismissive like that. As long as we get the complete gist of that discourse, Krishna might be right. Krishna will be right. In other words, yes, we wouldn't need anything else. But often we fail to completely understand it. So, just like science requires axioms, you have to believe, and in certain conditions that are necessary for any theory that has been proven experimentally even. For example, scientists would say universe is 15 billion years old or 14.5 billion years old. But then they have to make the assumption that the speed of light behaves in a particular way. It's been constant throughout the development of the universe as well as everywhere in the universe. There is reason to believe that axiom is true, but yet it is still an axiom. In a similar way, in religion, in faith, we have to first accept that there exists powers beyond our comprehension. And that's what Krishna is telling Arjuna. Now you have accepted that. Therefore, I might be able to explain to you what that power might be. So the bottom line is, if you don't accept that there exists a power beyond our comprehension, we can't even approach anywhere near knowing what that might be.